Okay, let me get this in a couple groups. Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in. My name's Stratton Brown. This is my friend Nick. Some quick announcements. Please go like and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you guys are looking for cold callers in any type of insurance, real estate, any aspect, go to callmagicians.com. We can connect you guys. And if you guys are looking to skip trace the best data, go to rocketskiptracing.com. All right, man, let me get this into a couple groups, and we'll talk about your awful Washington Redskins team.
All right, man.
We'll do that. Who else do you guys have, man? I mean, Dwayne Haskins.
Terry McLaurin.
Alex Smith came back, though, dude.
Oh, yeah, Alex Smith and Kyle. What the hell is his last name? I can't even think of it.
So my trainer in college.
Kyle Allen, he stinks too.
Who sucks?
Yeah, only positive player we really have is Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin's a beast.
For sure. My trainer was there when Alex Smith snapped his leg in half.
Oh, dude, I still haven't watched it. I can't watch leg injuries at all. I can't watch any injury. I'll pass out if I see it.
We had a guy who snapped his leg in half when I was playing basketball the other day. Just a heavy-set dude came down off a jump shot, and Dak Prescott at his leg, just all over the place.
Jesus.
All right, bro.
I didn't watch Dak either. I sometimes got to be careful on like Twitter after those things happen, because sometimes they'll just throw it at me, or my friends will just send me a screenshot of it because they know I hate it.
I can't stand it. I had to walk over there and see the guy's leg, and I almost puked.
Dude, there's no way I would have left. I would have left and gone home.
It was so bad. All right, man. Introduce yourself. You're a cool. In what you do. Introduce yourself and tell everyone about a little bit about what you do.
Sure, man. Name's Nick Burton, 26 years old. I live up in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm born and raised in D.C., right outside Northern Virginia. Huge D.C. sports fan, Capitals, Skins, Wiz, Nats. And, I wholesaled for a couple years from like 2015 to 2017, wholesales and flips. And since then, we've pretty much only been buying multifamily. So over the last handful of years, we're over 4,000 units now. Almost all multifamily. There's a little bit of retail, a little bit of office, and we have a little over 600 storage units too. But bread and butter, value add multifamily. We're trying to scale a little bit to maybe start picking up a little bit more stabilized stuff, just because we've kind of just progressed to the next best thing. But yeah, man, I do acquisitions for Tim Bratz. Tim's all over Facebook and social media. We have an event too where we teach people how to scale into multifamily, and we partner up with a lot of those people too. So yeah, man, just trying to really get prepared. We have like 8 or 9 refinances going on right now. And
fat one, right? You guys have a super fat one that's going on right now.
Yeah, once those go through, we're selling off some stuff too. We're gonna have a bunch of cash. So when the market starts to shift a little bit, I think it's really gonna start shifting when eviction court really starts opening up nationwide. When that starts happening, we're gonna be in a really good position to start picking up a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff.
So how'd you get connected with Tim, bro?
Sure. So I went to Ohio University, went to OU.
Okay.
Go Bobcats. When I was there, it was ranked the #1 party school by Playboy magazine. No big deal. And so I went there, and my major was actually entrepreneurship. So I was an entrepreneurship major. I was in the entrepreneurship group, and we ended up going on. I had no interest in real estate. This is back in 2015, early 2015. Had no interest in real estate at all. And we went on a trip up to Cleveland, and Tim had like a meetup group for a bunch, like an entrepreneurial meetup group. It wasn't even a real estate group. And I ended up sitting across from Tim at dinner, and he was just wholesaling, flipping, had some rentals. And I was just like, dude, whatever this guy's doing, I got to be part of that. Like he, even though he didn't have the portfolio he has today, even back then he had the exact same vision and the exact same
drive.
The exact same drive that he has today. He's just a psycho, right? And I was just like, I got to be part of that. So next day I sent him an email. I was like, dude, I'll come wash your car. I'll pick up your dog crap. I'll do whatever. It doesn't matter. And he's like, sure, whatever. Came up to Cleveland, gave me an internship. At the end of the internship, I told him, Tim, I don't want to go back to school. Like I'm done. And in my mind, how do you graduate from being an entrepreneurship major?
Right.
You drop out and you get a job. So in my mind, I graduated. My grandparents' mind, not so much, but that's all right. But yeah, man, that's how I got together with Tim, and we've just been off to the races ever since.
Pushing. You guys have been pushing ever since. Bro, first I want to talk about, how are you not a stiff? All the multifamily investors I talk to, right, like they're not fun. It's like a bunch of dudes on the East Coast who wear suits and they're like, oh yeah. No. Dude,
I'm wearing a Scooby-Doo shirt right now. I don't know if you can see it. But I'm the last thing from a stiff. Like usually when I do stuff like this, I usually take it from my apartment where I have like tons of 3-foot bobbleheads and action figures and autographs and toys and art and shoes. Like I just like staying positive and having fun. And if you're just going to be a stiff, like what fun are you going to have? So, yeah, man, I'm the opposite. Like I'm usually wearing sweatpants and a t-shirt. I think I've worn a suit in the last 5 years, maybe 5 times.
I like that.
I remember one time I showed up to an inspection, and I thought it was just going to be like one other person there, like one of my buddies. And I'm rolling up and everybody's in suits and I'm in sweatpants and a sweatshirt. Target was right around the corner. I drove right past everybody, ran into Target, got jeans and like a polo, and then got dressed in my car and went right back.
Bro. And so do you ever go to like look at properties? I'm not that familiar with multifamily, right? You guys are like we're hopping on a jet. We have our own jet. We're going to look at all 500 units. We're looking at all 500 units today. I will be inside all 500 units today. Yeah.
I pretty much go to every single inspection.
Really?
Except some of our Georgia stuff, I'm at every single inspection. And yeah, you're right. If we have 500 units, we're getting into 500 units. Now, I'm usually meeting with people there, like property managers and owners, and I'll peek my head into a handful of units. But when we do inspections, we usually have it could be anywhere from 10 to 30 people with us. And everybody knows kind of what to do and who's going in units, what we're looking out for. So it's just, and after so many units, it's just like, all right, yep, this is the same as all the other ones. It's really just trying to see if there's anything extreme in any of the units.
What is the average cost on something like that for an inspection? Because I know they're huge.
Sure. No, we pay pretty minimal. Our main costs with inspections are really just one, getting there. So flying and hotel. And then really the only other inspection we get is a professional plumbing inspection, which can be a couple grand. Mm-hmm. The thing is, we usually partner up with people. We'll bring people in as project managers. Okay. So they'll actually have equity in the deal and stuff like that. So they're inclined to do it for free because they're getting equity in the deal. And we'll bring it's usually like 3 GCs. We'll bring out one plumber, one electrician, one roofer, pretty much one of everything. And they're bidding out a huge job. Potentially millions and millions of dollars. So they're usually pretty happy to just do it for free. I've probably paid a handful of contractors for their time, but I don't think we've ever spent more than, I don't know, definitely not more than 10 grand on an inspection.
Okay. That's legit. And so now that we're talking about your partners and everything else, I want to talk about this a little bit later, but we're here. What's your usual equity split with all of your investors and all that?
Sure. So it really just depends. So on the deal, we usually give up somewhere between 10 and 30% equity just to the equity investors. And the reason we're able to give up so little, opposed to like traditional syndication where they're giving up 50, 60, 70, 80%, whatever, is because our goal is to refinance them out with all their money plus all their interest in 18 to 24 months. We usually give them like a 3-year term, 36 months, but we get all their money out quick plus all their interest. It's usually a 10% pref. And then so once they're cashed out, they get all their money plus all their interest, they still keep their equity in the deal forever. So they'll get their percentage of equity in the deal for, they'll get their percentage of cash flow, their percentage of extra refi proceeds, of sale proceeds, whatever. So that's usually 10 to 30%. Finding the deal, if you just find the deal, that's usually worth like 1 to 5%. Project manager, it depends on how heavy a lift it is. That can be anywhere from probably 5 to 20%. And then we pretty much sponsor every single loan, and we usually raise most of the money.
And can you define sponsor every loan? Like your guys' names going on the paperwork, you're signing?
Sure. So to sponsor the loan, you need to have, I believe it's a net worth equal to or above the loan amount. And you have to have cash closing liquidity of, I want to say it's 10% of the loan amount, something like that.
Okay.
So, and we have the experience. So you have to have 3 things, actually. You have to have experience owning that kind of real estate, or have somebody that's coming on board that has managed and owned that type of real estate. We have all 3 of those. But you can also get away with that one by bringing in like a third-party experienced property manager.
That is badass. Not a stiff. I love the equity splits. And how do you guys evaluate them, and what type of returns are you looking for on average? Because I know you said you want to move out of the value add space and go a little
Sure. So pretty much everything we've ever bought is value add. We're slowly getting into a little bit more traditional stuff. And the reason we've been able to give up that little equity is because we're buying at such a steep discount. We're usually all in for about 65 cents on the dollar. So when we refinance, we can pull all our money out, or all the investors' money out. We usually try to take out 10% above what we're all into it for. So if we're all into a deal, we raised $1 million, we would want to take out $1.1 million at the refi.
Okay.
Or more than that. So we usually try to take out about 10% above what we're all into it for, so we can at least cash them out. But yeah, all our value add stuff's pretty much about 65 cents on the dollar. And that's about it. We have super simple calculator. We lean on our mortgage broker heavily. One of the things we've learned is we don't have to do everything ourselves. There's so many people that know so much more than us that sure, we'll pick up what they know as we do more deals with them. But I really lean on my mortgage broker a lot.
And so you're just like, hey, I'm looking at this. Here's the rents. And
I know exactly how he wants it. I know exactly the data that he wants me to submit to him. I send it over to him. He'll spit it out, and he'll be like, okay, the stabilized value we think would be around this. And okay, great. I can work with that. I know how much we'd refinance. It'd be roughly, we think we can get 70% on the refi or whatever it is. He'll let me know all that. I'm good at guessing, but he lets me know actual numbers.
That is really nice. And so you're really not even doing that much. Send it over and then negotiating from there.
Yeah, I'm doing all the negotiations, and I just want to make sure we get close, because the last thing I want to do is waste my mortgage broker's time, because he doesn't just work for me. He works with a lot of people, especially all the people that have come to our events. And so I usually get pretty close.
Well, that is savage. So we got your mortgage broker. Where are you guys finding your deals? Like, you guys started wholesaling apartments, right? Like bigger apartments?
Yeah, so we still wholesale apartments. The kind of cop-out way is word of mouth. I know that's not the best answer, but we're always letting everybody know what we do. Like, Tim's always posting on Facebook. I'm always sending out emails. So email and social media have been huge. Banging out calls is really big. I know you were talking about the cold callers earlier. I might need a couple. Word of mouth. Everybody just knows what we're doing. And then we have our event. So now we have almost 1,000 people that are out there looking for deals the way we look for deals, and also deals that fit our criteria, and a bunch of people we do deals with, a bunch of people do deals on their own. I would say social media email is huge. Email is the one thing that I think is like king of everything. And like I have a decent email list, but I know some people whose email list would be like, would make you throw up how big they are.
Email is the most slept upon marketing method, I think.
Dude, it is. It's so scalable. It's so cheap. Now it's a little tricky with compliance issues. You really have to baby some things. But once you kind of get it up and running and you understand what you need to do and what not to do, because I did it wrong for years, and I got not bit in the butt for it, but I learned a lot from it.
That is awesome, bro. And so you have that. How do you guys go direct to seller? Like, did you guys start off doing direct to seller marketing? Like, I just take it, we've wholesaled some apartments, and I just say, okay, pull out whatever apartment complexes we can get, and we'll just direct to seller market to them as well.
Yeah. I would say in the beginning, it was a lot of direct to seller. Now we're getting more broker deals, off market broker deals, just because we built up those relationships and they know we're good. But yeah, skip tracing, it's a lot of the same stuff as single family. Skip tracing, getting emails, getting phone numbers, banging out calls. Not as much direct mail as it was in the single family space. I do a little bit, but not really my style. We use Reonomy a lot. Reonomy is like Propstream for commercial.
Yep. And so does Propstream have what I'd want, or does Reonomy have more?
Man, Propstream, I do not like Propstream for larger stuff at all.
Define, is that like 20 plus?
Yeah, probably. It's built for single family and smaller multi. The search filters just aren't quite there. I think on Propstream, the largest you can also search is by county, where Reonomy, you can search nationwide at one time.
Okay. Wow. And then what market? So you guys started off in Ohio, I'm guessing, Cleveland.
Yep.
And slowly branched out. So
yes. I want to say we're in 11 states now. We are in Ohio, Texas, Oklahoma, Illinois, Alabama, Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, Jersey. Man, is there anywhere else? I think that's probably it. That sounds right.
Is there a rhyme or reason for those states? Like, I know for us, we're looking at Indiana because I fucking can't stand the California landlord laws.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. I mean, we look at a lot of, I like to call them blue collar states. It's a lot of tenant friendly or landlord friendly states. Like, I'm not really doing deals in California. I'm not really doing deals in New York. I pretty much stick to the Midwest and Southeast. Yeah, a lot more blue collar, a lot more, just landlord friendly states. Now, the one I'm doing up in Jersey's not very tenant friendly or landlord friendly, but I'm doing a storage deal. So it makes more sense. Mm-hmm. That's going to be a ground up storage deal. We're about to start construction on it. That'll be one of the first new construction deals I'm part of. We've done a couple, and we have another one we're closing, I think, next week. But we're moving more in that direction.
Why are you moving more towards storage?
No, mainly moving more towards new construction or more stabilized stuff. We've done 3. This will be our 3rd storage deal. Our 2 other ones we've done were such good deals that we could deal with the learning curve. Like, I really don't like new asset classes a lot. Yeah. Both those deals were like, we can screw up massively and it'll be fine. Wow. So it made a lot. Like, one of them, it was 300 units for $1 million. The seller carried back 90% with no payments for a year. Ooh. Like, I can screw up a lot in that situation and be okay. So that was our first one. Then we got another one, and now we're doing this one. It's cool. It's just different. Like, I know nothing about mobile home parks. Yeah. It's one of the asset classes I want to know more about, but like, I have some students, they'll email me deals on it. I'm like, dude, I have no clue how to evaluate this. Like, I have no clue. I know you might want to own the pads, you might want to own the trailers, or you own the pads, you don't own the trailer. I don't even know.
And what have been the pros with your storage compared to your multifamily that you've seen?
Just so many less headaches. I feel like I never hear about them.
Really?
Like, I feel like my apartments I hear about every single day. Like, there's always some update with those where the storage is just kind of smooth sailing. You're not dealing with tenants every single day. You're not dealing with plumbing issues. You're not dealing with any of that kind of stuff. So yeah, they're easier for sure. I don't know how many more I want to buy right now. But I think if you can get some creative financing on some storage, I think that's a pretty good move.
Right, that sounds like a solid move to me. And so your property managers, bro, do you guys have one, like is it a nationwide property manager where they have boots on the ground everywhere? Are you finding local partners out there? Like what are you doing to make sure that's in place and all that?
Sure. So it really depends on the deal and who our partners are. Like if we have partners in the deal that do property management, we'll use them. Like if they found the deal and they're like, hey, we want to manage this and they're capable of managing, we'll use that. A lot of our Georgia stuff is managed by one of our partners.
Okay.
And then for the most part elsewhere, it's a national company. So we'll usually use Trinity Multifamily. That's our go-to. They have different regional managers, and the regional managers oversee like this manager, and that manager oversees this manager. So far it's going well. We really don't have too many complaints. We've gone through a bunch of property managers, and that's kind of who we've been ending up with.
Okay. And so what happens when you go through them, right? Because I remember being in college. I lived at this place called Campus Edge. And I swear to God, I was like, has it been sold 3 different times? And they switched property management companies 3 different times. There's like a 400 unit apartment complex of student housing. And they kept switching up the name and then switching up the property managers. Like, what is that turnover like? Why would you choose one? What are the headaches that they're giving you to garden them into?
Oh man, that would be a good Matt Carlin question, our COO. He deals with all that stuff. So I just find it and buy it, and then I'm done with it. Like I want nothing to do with ongoing management and asset management or anything like that. I mean, we get weekly reports. And if things aren't moving in the direction in the steps that we place forward, like if we're not getting units occupied or they're not turning units fast enough or whatever it is, then it's got to change. So if it happens once, okay. If it happens twice, what's going on? Happens 3 times, like what's going wrong? Do we need to bring in somebody else? What changes do we need to make? So yeah, I would say occupancy and turning units are the biggest things, and move outs too. Like if they're placing 15 tenants, but 15 tenants move out, that's no good either.
Right. It's not a very good turnover. Yeah, so we got different. Oh, what's the difference with the sellers, bro? From wholesale, single family to multifamily. For me, it is somewhat of an easier transaction because it's not all this emotion and bullshit.
Sure.
And more numbers, and they get it. They're comfortable with money. They're like, hey, give me this. And then it's a lot more negotiating skill instead of holding people's hands. Even though
sure. I think you nailed it. I mean, it is with single family, a lot of the time, like multifamily is an investment property. They bought it as an investment property. They didn't inherit it. It was their grandmother's house that she owned for 80 years. It's not the house they grew up in. It's not any of that. It is strictly an investment property, and the numbers don't lie. And people know that. I mean, you're dealing with a more savvy investor, right? Or you would think sometimes not so much. But yeah, I think it's easier, but there's so much more back and forth. And then especially because there's usually a ton of attorneys involved, and attorneys ruin everything.
Everything, bro.
Attorneys are the worst. I hope Fatty's not listening. Fatty's our in-house attorney. I made a joke to him about this the other day, but attorneys and brokers just screw everything up. So I almost won't even do a deal if I can't talk to the seller. The broker can be on every email and phone call. The attorneys can be on every phone call and email, but let's just get this done as easy as possible. I don't want to have to tell you, to tell Joe, to tell Tom, to tell Peter something, and then it has to go all the way back to me. So I'm just not going to do it. I don't want anything to fall through the cracks.
How do you set that up with your brokers and the attorneys? Like, what do you say just to set the stage on that?
I just tell them straight up, like, hey, listen, I want to get this done as quickly as possible and as efficiently as possible. I'd like to be on every, I'd like to talk directly to the seller. You can be part of every phone call and every email. I'm happy to include you in everything. Nothing will go around you. I want you to make just as much money, but do less work. That's kind of how I phrase it. Same with wholesalers. People that try wholesaling me stuff, I do not talk to wholesalers. I have no problem paying them. They can be in every phone call, every email. They can come to the inspection. They can do whatever they want. But I'm just not going to tell you to tell somebody else something. It's one of my golden rules that I just can't. I just won't do it. If you won't put me in contact, then sorry, it's just not going to work out.
Well, at this point, you have a big enough name to where if I screw you over, I hurt myself way more than I'd ever hurt you.
Sure.
That's how I.
Multifamily and even wholesaling. I mean, I feel like there's a lot more. I feel like screwing people over in wholesaling over the last like 2 years. I'm not even in it that much, but yeah, it's not that big of a community. It's really not.
It's not. Well, the real estate space isn't that big of a community. Like once you really start talking to people, everyone knows everybody. You do one bad thing, and then your name's tarnished.
Right.
Man, I have such a good question for you. Oh, how are you buying deals from brokers at 65 cents on the dollar, though? You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's a hard thing to do. I think brokers are awful.
Sure. I mean, yeah, it's tricky. I mean, we've bought, I want to say, we only own, I think there's like around 50 to 55,000 100+ unit buildings in the country. I have all these metrics broken down somewhere, but we only own like 40. Like we don't own that many. Like we are super, super, super picky. And I look through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of deals every single month. And I've gotten very good at sorting what I should spend more time on and what I shouldn't spend more time on. I have a lot of brokers that scoff at me and say, hey, this will never happen. And then I have other brokers like, hey, let me see what I can do. And I want home run deals. That's it. I can close. I want home run deals. I used to buy singles and doubles. Now I'm only looking for home runs.
What made that transition? What made that click and made you decide, I don't want to waste my time with these. I see my time better being spent doing one deal. I make even more money, less effort.
Sure. So, with wholesaling, I'll start there. With wholesaling, it was just so transactional. We might do 8 houses one month, 0 the next. And it was just all over the place. So we were like, all right, we're done with this. Let's just buy stuff. And then we started buying stuff in like more C-class areas and just buying, maybe a 13 unit, then a 14 unit, then a 25 unit, and a 50 unit. And then we started getting in the position where we had enough cash flow coming in to where we could kind of sit back, refine what we're doing, start selling off a lot of the smaller and more C-class stuff and transitioning. Like I don't need to buy anything right now.
Yeah.
For a while we kind of did. We had to go buy deals and get deals, but now it's just I don't need to buy anything. I'm not going to force any deal. Forcing deals will take your legs out. You can have 10 good deals and then one bad deal can take it all away. So I've forced deals and we've made a lot of mistakes in multifamily. I like to think we've made most of them. I'm not going to say all of them because I know we're going to make more mistakes, but a lot of the big ones we've been able to get over and weather the storm, and we don't make them again.
And why do you say you guys needed to buy more deals? Like, why were you in such a feeding frenzy, and why was it so important to keep buying them?
I don't know. It was just, Tim was just like, go buy. And I'm just like, all right, let's just go buy more deals. I don't know. We just wanted to be able to qualify for bigger deals.
Okay.
That's a big part of it. Be able to get the equity or the liquidity and the net worth and the equity up. Just so we can qualify for the bigger, better deals.
Okay. And then what's your guys' organization look like now? And does it's all paid through the cash flow, right, of the organization? Like everybody paid through the cash flow of it, or no?
For the most part, yeah. We also have the education company, so the education company makes money as well. But everybody at our company makes the exact same amount of money salary-wise. Tim makes the same amount as me, makes the same amount as Carlin, makes the same amount as everybody. Every single person makes $4,000 a month. Make $4,000 a month, $48,000 a year. And then there's different levels of profit share and different levels of equity that kind of come throughout the year. So profit share is where most of the money's made.
Wow. That's interesting. Where did you guys pick that up from?
I don't know. I'm not too sure. Tim is best buddies with Mark Evans. You know Mark, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's best friends with Mark Evans. He's his mentor, and he's in the DM family as well. So we get a lot of ideas from them. So Tim always wanted it to be, we make enough money to be able to get by, but not be comfortable, right? Okay. Like $4,000 a month keeps the lights on, pay your bills, pay your car payment, whatever. It keeps the lights on, but you're not comfortable at all, right? Like you want to keep pushing forward. You want to make sure that everything is performing correctly, so then you make more money. It's not buy it, oh, I'm making $150,000 a year. Well, we'll just let it go.
I like that a lot. So we're finding deals. Oh, how do you feel about the market right now? Do you feel like we're at the top? I've been hearing we're at the top for the last 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've been hearing that too. It's fine. Prices are not dropping yet. That's a big thing. So prices are not dropping, and then bridge lending has kind of gone
away, right?
Kind of to the shitter. So there is still bridge lending. I feel like it's coming back a little bit.
Can you define bridge lending real quick for everybody who doesn't know?
Yeah, bridge lending is essentially if it's a big value add deal and you want to try to lump in some of the rehab costs into that, essentially. So I think bridge lending is coming back a little bit, but your lever or your rate is not nearly as good. So if you were getting 75 or 80% loan to cost, 70 to 80% loan to cost before on a bridge loan, you might now be getting like 60 to 65% on a bridge loan. So then you have to raise a lot more money, and that money costs a lot more than the bridge loan, and then it starts killing a lot more deals. So that's the big thing. But like I said earlier, I think if once eviction court really opens up everywhere, people that overpaid and people who didn't place quality tenants are really going to get screwed.
Oh yeah. That is.
And I'm also starting to look at, Tim really wants me to look at hotels, not necessarily to run as hotels, but they're just getting slaughtered right now. Retail and hotels are getting absolutely slaughtered.
I have one friend who just bought a hotel, Jason Pritchard, 20 units for $125,000.
Yeah, I mean you can't.
And he's converting it all.
Yeah, you can't really screw that up.
You can't screw that up, bro. 20 units for $125,000.
Yeah, that's a joke.
I think they ended up only putting in $35,000 in on the note, and it's like a 5% interest note, like some madness deal. It's like, bro,
that's ridiculous.
I can't fuck it up.
Have him hit me up. I'll pay him $200 for it.
What? And then a lot of the big stuff out here in California now is affordable housing conversions.
Yeah,
so people are going through all the shitty hotels that are here in Fresno. They just convert them all, make studios, do whatever they can, and then the government pays for it. And that's been something that's been pretty cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of that kind of stuff going on. Yeah, I mean, yeah, hotels. Like I'm trying to get some like primo stuff in downtown Cleveland, downtown Charleston, downtown Cleveland, some big downtowns where they're just getting slaughtered.
Oh yeah, well, no one's even staying. Airbnb did go up though. My friend.
Yeah, I usually Airbnb everywhere whenever I go somewhere, and even Airbnb is getting slaughtered. Like a lot of these people who are doing the
vacation rentals, like
the Airbnb like arbitrage. People doing a lot of that stuff. I've seen a lot of those guys get slaughtered. It's coming back, but yeah, there are some people getting crushed for a little bit.
What's nice about here in Fresno is that only reason people come here is because they have to.
Yeah.
And so my partner in my sub 2 business has Airbnbs, and all his business went up because all the hotels shut down. People started to look to their family, whatever. I'm in Fresno for business. And so all his Airbnb business went up, which was really cool. In real estate, how'd you find it? What's your conversion rate on your leads, bro? Like how many offers are you usually giving out?
Yeah, I'm making a couple hundred offers a month. Last year, I think we closed like 20 something deals, which was nuts. This year, I think we've closed like 5 or 6, something like that. Just because we have all these refinances going on one, so we don't want to overload the team.
Yep.
Because we need to get those done. That's priority number one. But it's different with single family and multifamily. Where single family, you can easily track it, right? Because at least for wholesale, like you're flipping, you're wholesaling. I have to do this much marketing to wholesale this many houses. With multifamily, I kind of just look at it as just go until you get them. But I would say I see a couple hundred deals a month to close right now, one every other month. That's probably pretty fair.
Okay. Wow. So we got that. Do you guys use cap rates? Like, do you just look at it?
Yep.
And how do you break down deals?
Yeah, we usually buy. Our goal is to get 3% above the market cap rate. So if it would refinance at a 7%, we want to be at a 10%, which kind of builds that spread when you go to refinance. Yeah. That's kind of the simple math.
That's really good, man. And then what books did you have to read to really get into this, in transition? I haven't read any, but I know apartments up to 16 units once it gets bigger than that.
Yeah, dude, I didn't read any multifamily books. I do like reading a lot. It's something that I've made kind of a priority over the last, really this year. Before this year, I probably read less than 10 books in my entire life. And this year I'm on book, I don't know, 5 probably. But yeah, multifamily books, I'm not too sure. I don't think I've read one. My favorite book is Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. I just saw you post Goggins today.
Bro, did you watch?
I saw you post Goggins today. That is my favorite book. And then I'm in the middle of reading 31 Days Living with the Seal with Jesse Itzler, where Jesse Itzler hires Goggins to come live with them. Mm-hmm. Those books do more for me, and it's just go. Right. I've had this this motto since I think I got it from 31 Days Living with the Seal. But if it doesn't suck, don't do it. I've been living by it for a couple months now. And it mainly working out and really just getting out of your comfort zone. If it doesn't suck, you don't do it.
I like that. Bro, did you do 75 hard? I really want to talk about your fitness journey too.
Yeah, no, I did not do 75 hard. But over the last about 2 years, I've gone up a little bit. Right now I'm down about 70 pounds. I had lost 90. I'd lost 87, and then I've been kind of going all over the place lately. But yeah, man, I was thinking about starting 75 hard at the beginning of the year. It's not that I don't think I could do it. It's just I don't really want to do it. Right. I like going out and boozing and having a good time and have some drinks. And I know it's no booze, but yeah, man, I just really cutting out the crap. So I gained about 90 pounds in a year. When I first started, but after probably about a year or so, where it was like this triple threat of, I was working like crazy. So I didn't go out and work out. Because I was working so much, I started eating crap because it just was quick. I was eating fast food 3 times a day. And then on the weekends, I'd go out and drink and have fun and do that kind of stuff. And it was just this terrible, terrible combo. And I felt disgusting. So I was fat for 2 years. Me and my friends like to call me Fat Nick, back when Fat Nick was around. Fat Nick was an immovable object. But yeah, man, it's just water is key. Water and black coffee. Those are huge for me. I'm back on the diet right now a little bit. I'd like to get about, 10, 15 pounds back off. But I'm in a pretty good groove right now.
What have you noticed since you've lost all the weight, mental clarity wise,
self-discipline? Dude, I used to throw my back out every other month. I swear, dude, I used to get pinched nerves in my back every other month. And it sucked, right? I felt like crap. I hurt my back and you just feel disgusting. And since I really started losing weight, I think I've hurt my back twice. So it used to, I mean, it probably happened while I was fat 30 times. And since then, yeah, probably 2, maybe 3 times.
Bro, the same thing happened to me because after college, this last month, when I first started 75 hard, I weighed 230.
Yeah.
I finished playing at college at like 190.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was no muscle weight. It was all in my face and my stomach. Like it was, and I did the same thing with my back. I messed up my back in college, but I couldn't go like a week without my back spazzing out and me walking around. I'm like,
Yep.
Oh,
Dude, I slipped a disc in my back. When was that? It had to have been at the end of 2018. I slipped a disc, and it was like the worst thing ever. And then that was probably in November of 2018. And then 2019 is when I really started, like January 1, 2019, I went all out on the diet. But that was like the worst couple of days of all time.
I mean, but you really, when I met you, and then you were off social media for a while, and all of a sudden you're back on, and you lost so much weight.
Yeah. I got up to 270, and then I dropped down to 183, and I'm hovering right around 200 right now.
That is dope. And then I want to talk about your biggest failure so far in multifamily, like biggest just blunder, failure, what you learned from it, how you could have avoided it.
There's one glaring answer. It's probably plumbing.
Like
plumbing is like the worst thing ever. And that's why we have professional plumbing inspections now. We pay somebody a couple grand to come scope every single line from every clean out to the street. They scope every single one of those lines. And if there's anything going wrong in there, there's probably problems. There's probably things going wrong in the building. And then they're going to start taking off toilets and stuff like that. But we've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on unexpected plumbing. And I have no problem doing plumbing repairs as long as I budget for them. Like it's no problem at all. Like, and a lot of times I can go back at them. Like I had a deal in Louisiana that I did. It closed earlier this year, and we went. Everything looked great on the outside, no big issues. And then we got our plumbing inspection done, and we found out that it was all cast iron plumbing. I think cast iron has like a 40-year life, and it was like 60 years old.
And it's rusted out.
And so we went back to the seller. We said, Mr. Seller, like your plumbing is shot. Your plumbing is completely shot. We need to replace it. And we ended up getting almost a $75,000 credit for that plumbing. And it was no big issue at all. So now we have new plumbing, and we got it done essentially for free.
And how often is that? How often are you guys doing a retrade?
Not that much. It depends on how much it just comes down to rehab, really. I would say, I don't even know, maybe half those times. Like if we come through and it's not what we expected, it's always things that we didn't expect. We're not just retrading to retrade. I'm not going to lock something up at $7 million. And before I do an inspection, I'm going to get it down to 6.5. Like then I'm just wasting everybody's time. But if I come out there and it's $500,000 more rehab than I thought, now we're going to have to figure something out. And we usually budget probably average to high on rehabs before we even go out.
Okay. And how often do the sellers end up backing out when you go back for that retrade?
I would say maybe like 30% of the time.
Okay. But they have to disclose everything anyways, right? And so I don't get why they'd back out is my biggest thing.
Yeah. I mean, when we go back to the sellers to try to get a price reduction, we have it all laid out. Listen, these are all the bids. This is how much it's going to cost to do it. From everything you told us, we thought it was going to cost $1 million. Everything here says $1.5 million. And then we don't just say like, hey, can we get $500,000 off? We say, what are we going to do about this? Like, yep. We don't want to put a number out and say, like, hey, do you want to meet in the middle? No, we that's not going to work. So maybe they'll be like, hey, we'll give you $400,000 off instead of $250,000. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I would say probably 30% of the time we either we end up walking.
Okay.
Yeah, I've walked from more deals because of plumbing than anything.
Okay. And then what is your number one negotiating tactic in the multifamily space? Because it is a lot more just numbers, and you can negotiate. But a lot of people are like, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I would say just put it on them. Have them come out with numbers. So I never give a number first. And I would say 99% of the time I don't give a number first, whether it's an offer and not knowing a price, or it's a rehab, price reduction, or anything. I always put it on them, because you have no clue what they're going to say until you ask them. You're making up these stories in your mind of what somebody's going to say, and you have no clue. No. You have absolutely no clue. Like if I went and needed $1 million price reduction, and in my head I psych myself out, like, what, he's not going to agree to that. You have no clue. So I would say I get a price out of somebody 99% of the time. If they don't give me a price and they're sticking to make an offer or to be determined by market or unpriced, I'm going in so low. I'm going in disgustingly low. Like if I can pay $2 million, I might go in at like $500,000.
Yep.
Like it's going to be a joke, and they're going to lose their marbles. They're going to go, oh my God, why would I ever do that? And I go, listen, you didn't give me a price and I'm not overpaying. I'm an investor just like you. I want you to get a good deal. I want to get a good deal too, just like you did when you bought it. Like, let's work together here and let's come up with something that's fair. So I almost always get a price out of somebody, whether it's, hey, we need $3 million. Hey, we need $30,000 a unit. Hey, we expect this to trade off of a 7 cap off actuals or a 5 cap off pro forma. Whatever it is, that gives me an idea. Or say like, listen, do you want to trade for $15,000? Do you want to trade for $150,000 a unit? Like, where's your head at? So yeah, I would say always get a price out of somebody, and don't put words in somebody else's mouth. Ask them.
Okay. And what is like your number one question to get it out of them? Like besides those ones you talked about, like to get out the price?
I guess why they're selling. That's a big one. I mean, price is the huge one. But I would say why they're selling, just so you can kind of negotiate around their motivation.
Yeah, but I'm saying, so how do you get the price out of them? Because I mean, you always got to know why.
Yeah, I mean, I usually start like, listen, I'm an investor just like you. What are you looking to get out of this? Make me an offer. I mean, listen, Mr. Seller, I want a deal just like you do, right? Like, what number do you have in mind? Make me an offer. I mean, do you want $15,000 a unit? Do you want $150,000 a unit? Make me an offer. I mean, do you want 7 cap off of actual? Like, I'm literally just going down that list. It's like my dad watches, and this kind of is topical right now with all the politics going on. But you see some of these people get like in court or whatever, these politicians, and they'll not answer a question a million different ways. Like they'll just keep asking the same question. And like, yes or no, yes or no, yes or no. And they just keep running around it. And that's kind of what I do on the offensive. I'm just going to keep asking a different way, just to get an idea of what they want for it.
Right. Give me an offer. I think that's the thing I hate hearing the most in my life.
Yeah. Well, what do you want? What do you want? Make me an offer. Listen, let's get a deal done. I don't want to waste your time. Let me know what makes sense for you.
Awesome, bro. This has been an amazing episode. Where can people find out about you? You have any promo codes? Anything you want to promote?
Yeah, man. Follow me on Instagram. It's legacy_wealth_Nick. Trying to post more on there. That's the best way to reach me. We have our event, Commercial Empire. If you want info on Commercial Empire, it's a course we do on how to scale, mostly from single family into multifamily, but we have people that have gone from 0 units, pretty much 0 real estate, up to over 500 units in about a year. If you want more info on that, send me a DM on Instagram.
Awesome. I had one more for you. What was it? I just got so lost.
That's right.
You're
like Friday.
All right. It feels like Friday. It's only Wednesday.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for coming on, bro.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate it.